Hey guys, it's Leilani for God, and I'm back with another video. So in this one, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on with Allie Carter. Her real name is Tori Outlaw, but she goes on social media by Allie Carter. So there's been a lot of controversy recently because Allie has gone viral on numerous platforms, and she has been for an estimated 5 years. I did some research on YouTube. The oldest videos I could find that were posted on YouTube were 3 years ago, but they were older videos. So, to the best of my knowledge, Allie has been on social media for at least 5 years, bringing awareness to some situations that she alleges to have been through in terms of with being trafficked as a minor. And now that she's an adult in her early 30s, she says that she has to stay on the move. She's constantly driving around so as not to disclose her location so that she cannot be found because she alleges to have threats on her life. And so she's moving around for her safety with an older woman who was a counselor, who she's known for many years. And she's been with this woman for a number of years, driving around in a vehicle because they fear for their safety as a result of exposing the abuse of minors at the hands of numerous A-list celebrities, as well as other people in the entertainment industry who may not be A-listers. But some of the A-listers that Allie has indicated that have harmed her or others that have been in a situation that she says she's been in. She's brought up names like P. Diddy, Denzel Washington, Oprah Winfrey, President Biden, ex-President Obama. She mentioned a reality star, Young Jock. These are some people that I've watched some of her videos where she tells her story, that these are some of the names that she has brought up. So I want to talk about the fact that a YouTuber has recently interviewed a woman who claims to be Allie's biological mother. And her name is Larhonda Outlaw. And Larhonda has been claiming that Allie is not telling the truth about her identity, about her mental health and wellness, and about how it is that she got disconnected from her biological family. At this point in Allie's life, in her early 30s, she claims that the woman who she rides around with for her safety and protection, she claims that woman to be her mother. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the things that I found on Allie Carter's social media, as well as her website, where she has a call to action for people to get involved. We're also going to go over in the course of this video the spiritual warfare behind what she's doing, the cause that she's standing up for. And we're going to talk about how social media influencers have been using her for attention, as opposed to actually being involved in a campaign to eliminate predators. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff in the course of this video. And I want you guys to know I'm going to say things that other people are not saying. There's a lot that needs to be said that other people aren't saying. And that's what I try to do in my videos. I never try to duplicate other people's work, but instead say things that are not commonly already known by other people. So I just did a little sound check. Let's get into the video now that I know you guys can hear me. I have another device, so I'll be checking in with you guys in the comments and try to interact with you guys as much as possible. Thank you for everybody who joined. Hi, Oyela, good to see you. Hi, Isida. Okay, I will try to check in with you guys as much as possible as I go through the information in the stream. So first of all, this is a picture that people think is of Allie Carter. It says, what do you think? Is this Allie Carter or not? The title of this video is Allie Carter Explains Her Link to Jay-Z's Run This Town. So there's a song with Rihanna and Jay-Z that was very popular. They had a music video, and this is a still shot from that music video. And a lot of people think that this is Allie Carter. Okay. And they keep perpetuating the idea that that is Allie in the video. It says to anyone who thought Allie Carter was lying, she's in the Run This Town music video. They allegedly filmed this video in the tunnels. Okay, so this is one of the myths that's been perpetuated about Allie that has people believing that her stories are true. That's one of the items. However, Allie Carter confirms she is not in Run This Town video. Okay, so Allie Carter has come out and said that is not her in the video. Now, a lot of people look alike. This person does look like they could be Allie Carter in this video wearing a face mask. But if you take off that face mask, that person may have a completely different nose, completely different mouth, but just happens to have similar eyes and hairstyle to Allie. But Allie herself has said that is not her in the video. Okay, so that debunks the first thing that has made a lot of people believe that that's Allie Carter in that video, and that would give credibility to her claims. So she's saying that's not her in the video. Okay. Another thing people have been saying on social media that proves that Allie Carter was trafficked by these A-list celebrities. Here's another piece from social media. Will Smith's VMAs 1997. Wait until you see who is behind him. So I took a still shot from that. It was like a short video. This person really does look like Allie Carter. It really does look like Allie behind Will Smith. This is at the 1997 VMAs. How many years ago was that? This is 2025. And so, oh my goodness, I can't even do the math real quick in my mind. That's about 28 years ago. 28 years ago, Allie is about to turn 31. Okay. 28 years ago, if my math is correct, 1997 is 2025. Right. 28 years ago, Allie would have been how old? How old would she would have been? 3 years old. So even though this woman looks like Allie in this picture behind Will Smith in 1997, Allie would have been 3 years old. Okay? So this again, just like it's not Allie in the Rerun This Town video, she said that's not her. In the Rihanna Jay-Z video, it's not her behind Will Smith. She would have been 3 years old at the time. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people use these pictures and these images to say this proves Allie's claims, but we have to think these things through. I'm not saying Allie is not telling the truth. I'm saying that these proofs that people are pulling up, Allie is debunking them, and it's not actually her in some of these so-called proofs. All right, moving forward. This is a video I found that was posted on YouTube in 2021, which is about 4 years ago now. It says this is Allie and her mother, Shelly. Shelly is not Allie's biological mom. It says Allie is a survivor of every kind. Things you couldn't dream up, even in the wildest of fiction books. Her mother is an absolute angel, as well as her grandmother, Holly. As long as I can post, I will continue to do so. So basically, it says they have been threatened to the point that they are stuck living out of their car since November of 2020. Okay. It says that this content creator on YouTube will post Allie's IGs above on YouTube. All right. And it says, please pray for all three of these courageous women fighters. This is the only way I know how to help the situation. So Allie's adopted mother, Shelly, and another woman, an older woman named Holly, I guess is Shelly's mom. All three of them have been living out of a car on the run since November of 2020 in fear of their lives. Okay. So one of my subscribers asked me 2 weeks ago, she said, can you do a video on Allie? I said, something to the effect of, I don't have enough information to do a video on her. At that time, I had not collected a lot of details in order to even speak on Allie Carter. But at this point, I've collected a lot of information, so I'm able to actually give you guys my opinion on everything. And I'm going to go through everything. I'm not going to leave any stones unturned in this video. And so my subscriber says, I saw the videos. I have made a playlist for you guys called Who is Allie Carter? Allie Carter Exposed. And so there's a list of videos of content creators who've covered Allie so that you can see, the meat and potatoes of what she was saying. I had a playlist where I just had a whole bunch of her videos, but I took it down because in a lot of her videos, she's talking a lot, but she's not saying anything. So I made a new playlist that has videos where she's getting more to the point of what happened, who did it, when, specific details. So the playlist is there for you guys. You can see it at any time that you want to. So my subscriber said, I saw those videos, but I believe she's being paid. I do believe something happened, but do not believe she's being honest. Her and her adoptive mother are being paid. By who? I have my suspicions. So I said to the subscriber, again, this was 2 weeks ago, I said, I understand how you feel because there's no evidence. And I said, I don't have supportive info to make a video on her. So I think yesterday or the day before, I replied to the subscriber and told her, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a video on Allie as soon as possible. So this is my time that I'm doing it. I saw a video on YouTube by a YouTuber named Real Cleo. It says Allie Carter is a fake. She did some research on Allie Carter, and she came to the conclusion that Allie was fake. So we're going to go over both sides of the story. Is Allie Carter real? We're going to talk about it from that perspective, as well as the perspective of it's fake. And we're also going to talk about the perspective of, is it a mental health issue? And we're going to talk about it from the perspective of, is it spiritual warfare? I want everybody to think about the whole story. I want everybody to think critically and with an open mind. Even if you completely believe her, just be open to considering maybe it's fake, just so that you can have the whole 100% story. If you don't believe her, open up your mind to consider maybe it's real, just so that you can get the whole story. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. We're going to do the whole story. So here's a comment from under one of her videos. They said she was the first one to expose the underground tunnels. She was the first one to expose the demonic industry. Someone else said, Allie, also known as Tori, has been speaking on this before all the Diddy stuff and lawsuits. In the beginning in 2020, Allie came online with a black woman as her real mom sitting next to her during every video. The deception is real out here if this is true. So now Allie has a white woman in her videos that she says is her real mother, or her adoptive mother, rather. So, but basically this establishes that she's been online for 2020 and people believe Allie is the first person to expose the underground tunnels and the demonic music industry. On another comment thread under an Allie video, someone said, all of this was first reported in the 1960s by John Todd. Then again, in the early 2000s by Yash Kara. And now everything that is in the dark shall come to light. Someone else said, unfortunately, a lot of people won't believe her or whatever. Okay. So the thing I want to establish is that Allie Carter is not the first person to talk about the demonic music industry. And she's not the first person to talk about what's going on with children being moved around or the abuse of minors. There are a lot of people that have been talking about this since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. This person, John Todd, who started talking about it in the 60s, he published books about it in the 80s. Okay, guys? Here's a video that was reposted from John Todd's work. It was reposted in December of 2022, but it's an old video from like the 80s or the 90s. He himself was a Satanist. This video title on YouTube is Ex-Satanist John Todd, 3 Signs of a Witch, Spells in Music. So he was talking about how the music industry is using witchcraft and casting spells and what is called satanic ritual abuse. This man started talking up in the 60s and published books about it in the 80s. Okay. Yash Kara. He's been on YouTube for more than 10 years. His channels have gotten deleted at this point. So in order to find his content, you would have to search him on YouTube and follow his old content through YouTubers who've reposted it. This one here was posted 2 months ago. It says Yash Kara on Jamie Foxx and P. Diddy. Okay. I believe Yash Kara is still making content on other platforms, and then sometimes people post it on YouTube. But Yash Kara has been talking about this stuff for more than 10 years. It says Yash Kara, Diddy, Yash Kara, music industry, Yash Kara, Hollywood, Yash Kara, films. Okay, so again, there's plenty of people that have been saying the things that Ali's talking about for like 20 years. We have to keep that in mind because if she's not telling the truth, these would be the sources of her information. Hollywood was a real one. Rest up. Her and Yash Kara put me on how the industry really runs. Crazy how everything is coming out now. Okay? Hollywood is this woman who was also speaking on all of these things in the early 2000s. Hollywood was actually a person that was in the industry. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but her YouTube page is still up. It says that she has 515 videos. Her video here on her homepage from 9 years ago says, I was in Illuminati porn. Okay, so this woman was actually used by the industry, and she tells her own story of being the first person in that situation. All right, Professor Griff, he's been on YouTube for more than 11 years exposing the industry. You got a video down here from 11 years ago. Professor Griff exposes Hollywood. He was a member of a popular rap group called Public Enemy. They have won awards. They've been on mainstream television, when there used to be MTV and they actually showed music videos. Like he was in the industry with his rap group in his time. Okay. And he's been exposing the industry and all of these type of horrific things that go on in the industry for more than, the 11 years that he's been on YouTube. So once again, Ali could be getting her information from all of these people in order to put together all of these stories. Wendy Williams, okay, she's been on YouTube for about, I would say, at least 10 years. However, Wendy Williams started off on radio back in the 90s. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, sent one of his girl groups, Total, to the radio station where Wendy Williams worked to beat her up because Wendy Williams exposed that back then they called him Puffy. Now they call him P. Diddy. But Wendy was the first person to expose on public radio that Diddy was potentially homosexual. Okay, so back in the 90s. All right, so people have been exposing that there's something going on. She didn't just expose his sexuality. She also she would do exposes on rappers beating up their girlfriends, stealing money from their artists. Wendy Williams brought a lot of information to the public that shamed the dirty deeds of the music industry people and entertainment industry people. So there's a lot of people who put themselves out on a line, who risk their lives, their careers, their reputations. Wendy Williams almost got jumped by Diddy's girl group Total. A lot of people been putting themselves out on a line. This idea that Ali is the only one and the first is false. Okay. And it's going to take a lot of people working together to keep chipping away at the problem. Someone else put a comment. They said, does anyone remember the Black Child YouTube channel? He was talking about Diddy and a lot of other celebrities 10 years ago. His channel disappeared, as well as Like Mary 40. Someone replied to that comment. They say, yes, he came on and said he was being threatened and stalked, and they wanted his channel. He said if his voice or content changed, they got him. Then someone came on his channel, and when I said, this isn't his voice, they said it was because of a new mic. After that, there were no voiceovers, only closed captions on the channel. I believe they got him. All right. So there was another YouTuber basically named, let me check the comments here. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining. Hi, Juicy. Hi, Sarah. Tammy says her mother waited 15 years to care, not buying it. Tammy, if you stick with me, I'm going to address that. Okay. I'm going to talk about why did her mother take so long to come out? All right. So here we are. There was a YouTuber called The Black Child. He was also doing his content 10 years ago. They took him off of YouTube. They took his channels down. All of a sudden, they didn't hear his voice anymore. They heard a different person's voice. When people kept pointing out, this is not the same person, the black child that was making videos before, all of a sudden his videos no longer have sound. It's just posted videos with captions. So it's very suspicious. What happens to people who's telling the truth? That's when you know somebody's telling the truth, when they start getting attacked for exposing stuff. Jamie Foxx, the very last live that Jamie Foxx posted on social media before he went into a coma, this is what he said. He said, first of all, thank you to all the fans that have been supporting Alert Missing Persons Unit on Fox. So Jamie was part of a show called Alert Missing Persons Unit. And even though it was on television, it exposed the trafficking of human beings. And so this is the last post that Jamie Foxx made before he went into a coma. He said in this particular video, he was thanking people for watching the show, and he was saying, don't watch the Super Bowl, watch my show. And next thing you know, he was in a coma, and he ain't been right since. Okay. And he blames Diddy for putting him in the coma, and he won't be clear about it. He tried to make it seem like it was a joke. Then he tried to make it seem like he was serious. Then he went back to saying it was a joke. So he doesn't want to stand on it, but he has put it out there out of his own mouth that he believes that Diddy is the one who poisoned him. My thing is, why was this the last message that he put on social media before he was put in a coma, telling people to watch the show about the missing persons? Very suspicious. Missing children in America is a real thing. According to various sources, approximately 460,000 children are reported missing in the United States every year. This figure includes a wide range of scenarios, such as runaways, parental abductions, and cases involving custodial disputes, meaning either the mother or the father, when they break up, one might take the kid with them before they resolve it in child support court or what have you. That's a form of kidnapping, even if you're with a parent. It says, while the number sounds high, it's important to note that nearly all of these missing children are found. That's what they're saying here. I just Googled this. It says, for instance, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reports that about 97.8% of missing children are eventually found safe. Okay, guys, I don't think that's true. I'm sorry, okay? I don't think that's true, but that's what they want to tell us on Google, that they find 97% of the missing kids, they find them safe. Additionally, it's estimated that around 2,300 children go missing every day in the United States. This translates to over 800,000 children reported missing each year, although the majority of these cases are resolved quickly. All right, so there's a lot of inconsistencies in this Google article. First, it says at the top, 460,000 are reported missing. At the bottom, it says over 800,000. So right away, that's an inconsistency. They lying to us. Then they trying to tell us that 97.8% of the missing kids are eventually found safe. I don't think that's true either. Okay. However, there's plenty of news articles and other YouTubers who cover this on YouTube, but these are from news stations. Missing child found after nearly 3 years. A missing 3-year-old was found unalived in a dumpster. Okay, so they're not all found safe and sound. At the bottom, it says missing kids who were found alive years later. Okay, so there's a number of things that could potentially happen with missing kids cases. 3 months ago, a missing child was found in the Louisiana woods. Below that, 6 months ago, Fox News reported 200 missing kids were found in a national operation. Below that, 2 months ago, amazing rescues of missing kids found in fields. Okay, so I just want you guys to know kids are being found, and not all of them have been abducted or trafficked. Sometimes different things happen. It's a variety of different things that's happening, but it's, of course, it still all needs to be addressed. But I just want to take the narrative of the missing children out of the context that Allie has put it in, as if she is the only person who's aware. She's the only person who wants people to find the kids. Nobody's looking for the kids. The way she has created a narrative around missing children is convoluted. All right. Somebody wrote a comment under one of Allie's videos. There are 320,000 missing, unaccompanied, illegal immigrant children that DHS lost. So, yeah, I totally believe her. So now this is a whole different set of kids. Okay. If we're going to go with the number that said on the previous Google page that 800,000 kids go missing in the US every year, there's an additional 320,000 missing kids from the illegal immigrants that have been lost by the Department of Homeland Security. All right. So somebody wrote that Allie is being ignored because of her mental illness. Everyone chalks up her stories to dissociative identity disorder, saying she's nuts. And somebody said, I'd be nuts too if it happens to me. So Allie claims to have dissociative identity disorder. But if she's been on a run for the past 15 years with the woman that she's with now and her mother, which Allie considers her grandmother, at what point does she go for a psychiatric evaluation and get a proper diagnosis? Sometimes people have, I work as a mental health and substance abuse counselor. For those people who are new to my channel, welcome. But I just want to say quickly that basically people diagnose themselves instead of go to a psychiatrist and getting a proper diagnosis, right? And DID, dissociative identity disorder, and autism, those are things that people like to say. They like to give themselves these type of diagnoses because they don't want to face the fact that they might be dealing with something that's not as well received by the public. They don't want to accept the fact that they might be having bipolar disorder or another form of major depression or schizophrenia. Okay, so we need to know, how did Allie come to the conclusion that she has dissociative identity disorder? Because she claims that she avoids all sorts of medical professionals as well as law enforcement. Okay, so somebody replied, thank you so much, D Smalls. Hey, Tammy. Hi, Alex. Hi, Juicy. D Small said her mom said during her 72-hour hold, she was diagnosed with ODD. Thank you, D Smalls. As I move forward through this presentation, I'm going to give you guys the explanation of ODD. I actually have a screenshot of how that is defined so that you guys will know what that means. D Small says she was self-harming, cutting herself as a teen, her mom said. Thank you, D Smalls. I appreciate you giving us that information in real time. So yes, that's exactly why I brought up that she probably diagnosed herself with DID. And come to find out, her mom says she has oppositional defiant disorder. That's what ODD is. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what that is in a few minutes so that you understand that, when we're trying to figure out if Allie is telling us the truth or lying, we have to think about everything that she says and we have to think it through for ourselves. So she's saying that she has DID, in my opinion, because that sounds way more socially acceptable than saying that she has ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, which means that she's a rebellious type of person. She does what she wants to do. And it's kind of ironic that her last name is Outlaw, because that's what an outlaw is, somebody who lives above the law. They do what they want to do. But anyway, we're going to look at it from both perspectives, that she could be telling the truth and that she could be lying. Okay, we're going to look at it both ways. All right, somebody said, Allie talking about the party and food, it reminded me of Justin's music video, Yummy, Old Rich People Everywhere. So Allie talked about that these predators have children on tables like party favors, and whoever wants to do something that they should not be doing with a minor, they just pick them up off the table and do whatever they want with them. And that has been exposed in some celebrity music videos. Even Katy Perry has a music video where she's laying on a table with a whole bunch of food. There are a lot of pop stars who have that symbolism in their video. So these things do happen. When one of the Diddy accusers recently had pictures released. One of the women who's suing Diddy, her pictures got released, and sure enough, she was laying on a table with food all over her naked body. So they do that. This is true, right? So this is why we kind of get confused. Is Ali telling the truth or is she lying? However, this information about people being placed on tables and treated as food, and people could come and do things to them of a triple X or pornographic nature, again, is information that has been out there for some time, right? So one of the reasons why people are also quick to believe Ali and not think it through is because, like, people reacted to the Young Thug case. This is a screenshot I took from under the Young Thug trial when he didn't like get acquitted. He pled guilty to being part of a criminal organization, which he was indicted on a RICO charge for using his rap label YSL as a front for gang activity, which included doing violence on people, pow-powing at people, selling illegal substances in the black community. So he eventually pled guilty during the trial, and they gave Young Thug 15 years of probation. So people were kind of outraged by that because they're like, he basically admitted to being a part of a gang that was selling illegal substances and pow-powing people. How do you get away with just probation? And so people were saying, after watching this case, no one in America should believe in the justice system. So when things like that happen, people get discouraged and they're more prone to believe Allie, and they more prone to accept that she doesn't go for professional counseling, or she doesn't go to the police, and she doesn't go to centers that are set up to assist people who are victims of what she claims to be a victim of. Okay. So D Small says also there are pictures of Diddy and Jay-Z and one other guy hugging outside of a room that had kids sitting for like a tea party. Oyela says yes, a few little girls that were in the room with Jay-Z. I saw that. It's a YouTube short. I didn't include that in this presentation because I don't want to do what Allie's doing. I don't want to just throw out speculation just to get people hyped up and riled up. We don't know for sure. Okay, because from what I saw, there may have also been other adults in that room with those small children. Yes, it's true. Diddy and Jay-Z was outside the room looking very happy that there was some young kids, little kids, like they look less than 10 years old in that room. Okay, but we're just saying this now because of the cases against them. When that happened a long time ago, right? So when that clip first hit YouTube, nobody thought anything was wrong with it until now they have all of these allegations. But we didn't see those children being abused. So it's hard to say. So I don't want to get into the gray area of assuming or making false accusations that's unfair. Because if anybody was in that situation, you would want the courts to give you due process. We need proof. We need witnesses. We need evidence. We need all of that because anybody could be put in a situation, maybe not dealing with abusing minors, but let's say you got accused of unaliving somebody, taking somebody out. Would you want everybody on YouTube to be like, yeah, that person was holding a gun, so therefore they definitely took somebody out? You would want due process. So let's not be quick to jump to conclusions because we all want to be treated fairly in the court of law. I don't care if you get pulled over on a traffic violation. Even when people are wrong, they still want to fight for their right to due process. So let's have some respect because that's what we would want for ourselves. That's all I'm saying. Now, there's a lot of things that Diddy and Jay-Z have done that's proven in paperwork and by other people testimonies that I have talked about in previous videos. Okay, so I'm not giving these guys a free pass because they're black men. I have called them out on the things that they have admitted to doing wrong, like selling drugs and things like that. That's a no-go for me. So I'll speak on things that's clear and plain, that's wrong, but I'm not going to just give a false accusation without proof. So someone else had talked about in the comment section, the actress Nicole Kidman, that her father was accused of being part of some type of child abuse as well. Kathy O'Brien has written a book about how politicians were involved in abusing her. So there's a lot of information that's been out there for a number of years. For the entirety of Allie's life, people have been exposing this stuff. And it's a possibility as to where she got some of her stories. All right. All right. So here, people had put comments under Jay-Z and Beyonce fighting back against the alleged Diddy association, calling it lies and conspiracy theories. Now, we have enough pictures and videos over an extremely long period of time with Jay-Z and Diddy together. So we're not buying that Jay-Z doesn't know Diddy. That's what he wants us to believe. I don't know him. We don't believe you. You need more people. But it's not going to help you because there's even pictures of Diddy and Jay-Z wearing matching suits. Okay, matching outfits. There's too much pictures and video of them two together to say you don't know him and y'all aren't really friends. So someone put in the comment section, Kamala, who was just recently running for president, has had a bunch of celebrities closely associated with Diddy at her rallies or speaking for her. Leonardo DiCaprio, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, to name a few. And someone said, I think we can call the Democratic Party the Diddy Party because all of Kamala's guests are in Diddy's and Epstein's lists. And speaking of the Epstein list, we need to hold President-elect Donald Trump accountable to actually releasing the Epstein list. Okay? So we need to actually take the time to make sure that that comes out. Trump had been promising to release the Epstein list. I remember as far back as the pandemic. He talked about he was going to expose the celebrities that were on the Epstein list, and he still hasn't to this day. So we need to, as the public, we need to hold these people accountable to exposing these people so we stop supporting them and stop endorsing them. The predators are allowed to pull off all of these horrible tragedies against men, women, and children because they have a lot of money. And when you have a lot of money, then you have influence and power over other people. You can pay people to break the law and be quiet about it, right? So they're getting their money from the general public. If we weren't listening to their music and watching their movies and television shows, they wouldn't have the money to pull all of this stuff off because it requires a huge team of people working together to do the stuff that they're doing. And nobody's going to do that stuff for free unless they're just depraved individuals, in which case they're much easier to be caught when they're operating as individuals. But once they start getting into these secret societies and gangs and groups, especially that have enough money to move around in silence and purchase properties in places that are far away, you got to cut them off at the money, and that will make it easier to catch these predators. All right. So under a video, I took this snapshot of this comment. There's a whole network of tunnels that lead to underground cities. Phil Snyder spoke extensively about it, especially on his tours before he was unalived. Shelly Carter has spoken extensively about it too. Elon has built superhighway tunnels. At least one is being finished now, leading to Las Vegas from California. All right. So first of all, in modern society, tunnels are built for transportation of mass products, right? Like it's not only to do illegal activity. Some of these underground tunnels are actually used. People who drive trucks have talked about it. They say, yeah, we deliver materials, all type of stuff. Like America is a consumer country. Like we buy everything from everybody all over the world and we throw it all away and we keep buying new stuff every year. So all of the products and even commercial services, people who do commercial cleaning and of businesses, it's just a lot going on. There's a lot of business going on. And so that's part of the purpose for the underground tunnels. It's not always something negative. Okay. We got to look at it on both sides. Now, of course, they have found humans being moved around in some of those trucks that are supposed to be full of supplies and You think it's furniture in there, but it's really people. And that does happen. And those things do get found sometimes. And we'll talk about that as well. But I'm saying the 100% reason for the tunnels was not initially to do illegal activity. The fact of the matter is, some people are just that evil and wicked that they're misusing the purpose of the tunnels to do their dirty work. Just like when people smuggle narcotics, they will pack lamps, even food, fish. They will take candles and dig out the wax and stuff it with substances, illegal substances. That's how things get smuggled. All right. Even myself have been a victim of predators on YouTube. I made this post 2 weeks ago. I said, "Hi, everyone. Today, a psychotic individual left about 10 maniacal comments under my videos, okay, and was threatening to attack me. And he has a history of hateful rhetoric towards me, Black women, and other YouTubers. So I said, the next time he mentions me, I'll visit my local police station and make a formal report. He has emailed me countless times and even made a threat on my life last year." So first of all, I don't live in fear, but I'm just letting you guys know, just because of the type of exposing that I do on my channel, a lot of people are very unhappy about it. But they don't think that they should change and do better. I exposed this person on my platform like 2 years ago. He has not changed for the better. He continues to stalk, harass, attack people all the time on his platform, and that's okay. But if you get up and expose him and say, "You know what you're doing is wrong," oh, now he wants to attack me. No, okay? First of all, we have a right to freedom of speech. Don't let anybody infringe on your rights. I don't know why. And that's the weird thing about people who have a predatory personality. They think they should be able to abuse you all day, all night for the longest time, and you just supposed to sit there and take it. That is so weird. But that's how these depraved individuals' minds work. They believe in abusing you, but themselves, they would never tolerate 1 minute of abuse themselves. And that's why these people need to be removed from society and put in prison where they belong with other people who are just as criminal minded and depraved as them. Okay. And I bet you when they get in jail, they know how to act all of a sudden. All that bullying that they was doing on the internet goes away when they get behind bars, because only cowards, especially men who attack women online, you're a coward. They never have that type of smoke for other men. Anyway, I made you guys some playlists, and I wanted to let you know this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. Allie Carter exposed. Who was Allie Carter? There are 25 videos in there. Some of the videos are about Allie Carter telling her story, and some of the videos are about the YouTuber who recently interviewed Allie Carter's mother. The YouTuber who recently interviewed Allie Carter's mother is an online predator. He is the biggest predator I have ever seen on YouTube. All right, guys. So it's really weird that he's the one interviewing Allie Carter's mother and acting like he's so sympathetic. This man has stalked, doxed, hacked into numerous YouTubers' phones. He has released nude pictures on numerous Black female YouTubers because they used to send him money. And when they stopped, he released nude pictures of them. Mind you, he was having these online relationships with them while he lives with women. He lives off of women. He doesn't have his own source of income that he can afford to have his own place in his own car. So he lives with women and gets online, flirts with other women. And when they stop sending him money, he releases their nude pictures. Other YouTubers that he was not romantically involved in, Black female YouTubers, he was calling them 100 times on Instagram, threatening them because they played the recordings on YouTube. They had to get orders of protections against him. One of them, he hacked into her computer. She had to get an order of protection against him. There's at least 3 different women who've taken him to court over the past 3 years. Okay. And so I put those videos in this playlist, Allie Carter exposed. Who was Allie Carter? Why would I put that in there? Because he's the one interviewing her mother. And her mother has no idea. She's talking to the biggest predator that I've ever seen on YouTube. This man has so many victims on YouTube and on another social media app called Bigo. He has an extensive prison record. He goes by King World. He used to go by World News. I did a video exposing him a year and a half ago, and one of his members from his channel, they call themselves the Bean Team. They gang stalk people on YouTube that they don't like. Okay. Regular innocent people that never did anything to them. They go on YouTube, they go live, they pull up people's location. They will dox them and show you where these people are, what city and state they're in. They will stalk the person's social media pages and contact those people's friends and family just because they don't like them. They don't have no good reason for the innocent people that they have stalked online. So when I started to expose it, one of the members from the Bean Team, under this man who's interviewing Ali Carter's mother, says to me, he put this comment under my video exposing World. Bitch, you gonna get your ass whooped. Okay. So guess what? I went right ahead to my local police station and made a report. And I also notified the FBI that this man who's interviewing Ali Carter's mother was running a gang stalking operation. A whole group of people. They have people from their audience go to the physical location and stalk people in real time. They did it to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar had got evicted. Her mother, herself, and her son, all of their property from their apartment was put out on the curb. World News was live streaming it. Somebody in the live stream went by specifically where Jaguar Wright was getting evicted and was live streaming it so World News could live stream it on YouTube. That's gang stalking. Okay? And that's wrong. That is so wrong. But he's done this to many, 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 many people. Why? Because he's a career criminal. He did 13 years in jail. He's been on YouTube for the past like 12 years. As soon as he got out of jail, he got on YouTube and started stalking, doxing, and harassing people, demanding that people send him money instead of getting a job. In the 13 years that he's been home from prison, he hasn't gotten a trade, a skill. He hasn't gotten no type of gainful employment, but yet he has kids and grandkids, right? So how are you paying child support? How are you caring for your family? How are you protecting and providing for your family, which is what men are supposed to do, if you're on YouTube all day, harassing, stalking, and flirting with women to force and blackmail people into giving you money, or you're going to release their nudes? This is the type of person that's interviewing Ali Carter's mother. And I think that is so weird because the language that he uses to describe Shelly is true about him. He had the nerve to talk about Ali Carter's opposition defiant disorder. He's got opposition defiant disorder. He's been arrested like 91 times. And when people bring that up, he says, oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but your activity on YouTube is still criminal. You're still stalking, doxing, harassing, and threatening innocent Black women who did nothing to you. So this is the type of person that's interviewing Ali Carter's mother. So if you go to the playlist I made, there's like 20 videos in there of Ali Carter giving her story. So those videos are in the playlist. But at first thing I want you guys to understand is this is the person who's trying to insert himself in her story. All right. So this is the playlist that I did specifically about exposing world news. He calls himself king. King of what? King of what? You don't even have gainful employment. What are you the king of? Living with women and making every other woman on the internet pay your way? When you become a king, I'll call you a king. All right. I had to put it in the title because that's what he calls himself. However, he got out of jail, got on YouTube 11 years ago. 4 years ago, this woman made a video, Surviving World News, who now calls herself King World. Domestic violence awareness. This woman told the whole story that he's on drugs. He beats on women. These are the things that he's accusing Shelly of doing to Ali. He says Shelly and Ali are on drugs. And there's a lot of things that World is accusing Shelly of doing, like kidnapping and abuse. He's accused of all of these things as well. That's the reason why he's easily able to tell, oh, they're detoxing from drugs. They're taking pills. They're on dope. All of those things are in his prison records that he got arrested with all of these hardcore drugs. He did armed robberies, all type of stuff. He's sitting up here talking about somebody else like he's not a predator too. There's a video that I put in the King World Exposed playlist, King World Tutorials. He sits up here and talks about how he is so skilled in hacking into other people's computers and files. He tells on himself. The next video, exclusive victim shares experience. This is a black woman who talks about how he hacked into her laptop and was stalking and doxing and threatening her to the point where she got an order of protection against him. The next video on the playlist, a judge granted me a temporary restraining order by a YouTuber named The T. She talks extensively about how World stalked and doxed her until she got a restraining order. All right, guys. So check out the King World News Exposed playlist so you understand who is this person that's interviewing Ali Carter's mother. He is worse than any predator I've ever heard of in my time on YouTube. If it gets worse than him, they're probably already in jail. I don't know why he's gotten away with all of this stuff over the past few years. Oh, of course, because he mainly attacks black women. That's why. Anyway, so it's really weird that he's sitting there trying to pretend to be an advocate now for a black woman, like he cares. He started off making very derogatory, hateful comments about Ali Carter. And the fact is, if Ali Carter really is mentally ill, that would be the explanation for her behavior. And he has a habit of berating mentally ill black women, talking down on people, insulting their appearance, and calling them derogatory names. That's not how you handle a mentally ill person. Here are some more videos from that World News Exposed playlist. This woman is a YouTuber named Sweet Ma for Life. She's giving him the middle finger. That's not even her character. He did a lot of harmful, hateful, derogatory things to her. He did revenge porn on another YouTuber named Clydiva. Clydiva was sending him money. When she stopped, he released her nudes on YouTube. Okay? Tokyo Tony dragged him when she found out all of the stuff that he was doing. Here's a YouTuber named Simply Anna. She made a video crying, saying that she was leaving YouTube because World was harassing her. All right. Why I left Beam Team in World News. A woman named Godmama gives her story. She was actually on World News's Beam Team, but he was such a horrible person, she had to quit the team. All right. So this is the person that we're dealing with here. Then he goes over to other platforms and he does the same craziness. He went on a platform called Bigo. So this woman named Divine, she did all of these videos. All of them I put in a World News Exposed playlist talking about how he was basically hacking, stalking, demanding money, trying to run a cult of women on Bigo. So all the information is there for you guys to find. There's a ton of videos from a lot of YouTubers, most of which are women, some of which are men, exposing World News. And of course, when the men said that they would meet him outside and fight him, World News is crickets. But he has all the time in the world to continuously call, dox, harass, stalk, and release nudes on black women on YouTube. All right. So don't let him tell you, oh, my criminal past is from 13 years ago. No, this is what you've been engaged in YouTube over the past couple of years, over the past 1 to 3 years. All right. And he has not apologized. He has not made amends. He has not made any official statement that he did all of these things. He's sorry. He'll never do it again. So people who do all of this type of crazy stuff and they never take responsibility, it only means that they're going to do it again. As soon as they find somebody else that they don't like, they're going to start gang stalking them all over again. All right. I just want you guys to understand what's really going on here. There's a lot of stuff that's not being said. So somebody wrote a comment under the interview that he was doing with Ali's mother. They said, King World, your transition from Ali's crazy interview to her mother was seamless and phenomenal. So he said, now you see, I have a channel theme too, but I'm not an evil person. They said, clearly you are not an evil person. You do have a wicked sense of humor and are a crazy good roaster. So first of all, I just proved to you, and I have a whole playlist proving to you, he is an evil and wicked person. And he calls it roasting. And this, you know, people think it's funny. He has a wicked sense of humor and is a crazy good roaster, making all types of hateful, derogatory, slanderous comments against mentally ill people, against random black women that never did anything to him. That's the reason why this predator is still on YouTube, sitting here interviewing a victim's mother, because people don't hold him accountable for the level of hate that he brings to YouTube. Some of the things that he does, and people in general that are predators online, this is how you identify a predator in general, okay? Because we don't know if Ali's telling the truth or not, but we do know that predators are real. And here's how you identify them. Stalking, Okay, you have YouTubers who find a target and every day, all day for hours, that's all they talk about. That's stalking, doxing, releasing personal information on people and their family, hacking into people's personal data, their email accounts, their social security, exposing nudes, calling up people's friends and family, calling up their churches. And when people get arrested and go to jail, a bunch of YouTubers get on top of that and report on it. This is this is evil because none of the people who do this stuff, they don't want anybody to do it to them. As soon as you criticize them, they have a heart attack, they fall on the floor, they want to flag you, they want to take down your content, they want to threaten you, they're going to sue you, they're going to beat you up, they're going to get all of the people on their channel to start gang stalking you. But all they do with their time on YouTube is do these things to other people. All right, so pay attention to YouTubers who's taken personal information and putting it online to harass people that have done nothing to them. Now, if somebody's going to get stalked and doxxed and harassed, they should be a person who's actually involved in criminal activity, right? So there are cult leaders that are running cults on YouTube and they're taking a lot of money away from people. They're taking people away from their families, which is what now the woman that Allie is with, Allie's biological mother, is saying that Shelly has truly abducted and kidnapped Allie, and that Allie is a victim of trafficking at the hands of Shelly. Okay, so now we have a twist in the Allie Carter story. And now we need to examine if that's the case, Allie is in fact with a predator. And all the things that Allie is saying about save the kids. How many times have you heard Allie say, you walk by kidnappers and predators every day? You walk by kids that are with their abductors every day. And now I'm thinking like, wow, Allie's talking about herself. She's with this woman and she's been with this woman for so many years that she might have Stockholm syndrome and not recognize that this woman is not helping her and that this woman is hurting her. For all we know, Shelly could be mentally ill, have a mental illness where she's paranoid and thinks that somebody's out to get her and has convinced Allie. And if Allie does in fact have a mental illness, she could be being manipulated by Shelly. This is a realistic possibility. Jackie Loves Life says she's with her abductor. Okay. So basically, we have to look at this from all different perspectives. Allie's mom put comments under World News videos. She said, King World, help me get my daughter out of that van from that predator Shelly. Her name is not Allie Carter. How are you still calling her by this name? After I spoke with you yesterday for hours, her name is Tori. I need to get my daughter away from this predator Shelly. You said you were going to help me. This is not helping me get a hold of my daughter. I'm here. I'm mom. Interview me. So the mother had left numerous comments under World's videos where he was just berating Allie as a source of entertainment. And eventually the mother got in touch with him. They spoke for hours and he was still just talking about Allie in a way that was just being used for entertainment. And the mother insisted, interview me, help me. Don't just make fun of the situation. So he did interview the mother. I think he interviewed her twice. Those interviews were extremely long. They were like 8 hours each. I only watched majority of one of them. After he did the first interview with the mom, she then went under his comment section and said, this is why I don't care to speak to any of you people, because from what it looks like to me, you all just want to report a story. You can care less about my daughter. All right. Because the way that World was talking bad about Allie was just derogatory. He's not a professional of anything. He's not well versed in mental health. He's not well versed in politics. He's not well versed in doing campaigns that actually solve problems. What he considers himself to be is he roasts and reports because he's not educated. So he doesn't know how to deal with matters of such a sensitive nature or such an important manner. So he carries himself like a high school teenager, making jokes, saying rude comments, being insensitive, because that's the extent of his intelligence. So King World says, I can care less about what is being posted. No, I'm sorry. This is Allie Carter's mom. She says, King World, I can care less about what is being posted on social media. I need to get my daughter, Tori Outlaw, away from this predator by the name of Rochelle Hawk, going by Shelly Carter. Are you going to help me or continue to live stream speaking on all these videos? So he says, I waited for you to contact me on IG. You do remember, right? So he's saying, I was waiting for you to contact me. That doesn't take away from the way that he handled his own individual reporting on Allie is very insensitive and immature. You are not qualified to speak on these topics, sir. All right, moving on. Another comment section. Allie Carter, a random YouTuber, posted this comment saying, Allie never asked for money, nor did she ever claim that she was someone's daughter. I've been following for many years. Someone else said, didn't she say she was Tupac's daughter? Someone said, no. Someone on TikTok said that because she looks like she could be. She never said anything like that. So the person says, Allie did allege that she was Pac's daughter. She even showed pics of her supposedly as a baby with him and his mother. And she also said he was still alive and that she visited him twice where he lives in Vegas. All right. So there's a lot of misinformation going around that Allie Carter is Tupac's child, because Allie has said that she's Tupac's daughter. And according to Allie's mother, this is a delusion. So this is another sign of mental illness, claiming that the woman that you're on the run with is your mother and Tupac is your father, but neither of these things are actually true. Allie's mother, when she gave the interview on World's channel, had said that Allie had falsely reported that her father had SA'd her, but the father was not even in the state at the time that Allie reported that he did something to her. Furthermore, the mother said that Allie had never been to her father's house because Allie's mom and dad had broken up. So when I'm a mandated reporter because I work in the field of mental health and substance abuse. So when an individual, whether they're a child or an adult, when they report that they've been SA'd, that somebody physically took their body against their will, one of the first questions they ask you is, where did it happen? So if you say it happened at your father's house, it don't matter whose house you say it happened at. The police are going to ask you, what does the floor plan of the house look like? When you first walked in the door, what did you see? Is it a living room? Is the kitchen to the left or to the right? Where's the bathroom? Like, they ask you questions to establish if you really were there, so that if they go into this person's house based on your word, they will have a floor plan and they will have proof from your testimony that this really did happen at this person's house. So the mother explained that Tori Outlaw is her real name, went to the police and made a report that her own biological father SA'd her. However, at the time and place that she claimed was both proven to be false. And that's the only reason that the father was not arrested. The father was out of town. He was not in the state during the time frame that she said it happened. And she'd never been in his house to describe where it took place. All right. So that's when, the mother started to notice that Allie was, not all there. Why would you say something like that? That goes back to the mental illness. Okay. So somebody said, I knew she was a liar when she claimed to be Tupac's daughter. I stopped listening to her then. It was over for her then for me. And someone said, I found it interesting that her last name is Outlaw, and Tupac's group that he produced were called the Outlaws. So that could be a reason why she latched on to Tupac, because her real last name is Outlaw and Tupac has a rap group called the Outlaws. When people are mentally ill, they distort information. When they receive information, it goes into their mind, but they don't process it. It gets distorted. So this could be a aspect of her mental illness, that because her last name is Outlaw, that she's related to Tupac because he had a group called the Outlaws. Someone said, thank you for exposing this. Please continue. And then she praised the mother. The commenter says, you're a good mother and we all believe you. So the mother replied to that comment. She said, thank you. I need to get my daughter, Tori Outlaw, out of that van from that predator, Rochelle Hawks, and get her into a hospital so she can get better. I'm asking you all to please help me to do just that. Help me bring my daughter home, please. So the mother is monitoring the comments. Someone else said, I'm a mental health counselor and I hear this stuff on a daily basis with my clients. It's pathetic. So, as a mental health counselor, it's not pathetic what Allie is doing. It's that the mental illness, when people receive information, it gets distorted in their minds. That's the reason why Shelly is dangerous, okay? Because if she has convinced Allie of these different things, and that's the reason why she's making these allegations and they're not true, a lot of celebrities have been slandered. And that's not fair. No one would want to be the victim of a mentally ill person making false accusations, right? But unfortunately, that's how mental illness works. I'm just going to read a little bit from this so you guys understand what mental illness is. The same way you see somebody in a wheelchair or somebody could be missing an arm or a leg, you can't tell that person that's in a wheelchair, get up and walk. You can't tell a person that's missing a leg, hurry up and run. You can't tell a person that's missing an arm to pick up a big box that requires two hands. So with mental illness, you can't expect a person to process information in a quote unquote normal fashion. The information gets distorted in their mind the same way as if they were missing a body part, as in other disabled type of people or other types of disabilities. Mental illnesses are often associated with abnormal neural activity, including altered firing patterns in neurons. It says these firing patterns are critical for specific information, coding, and transmission, and abnormalities can lead to various mental and neurological disorders. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys in layman terms what this means. This means in your mind, what makes us think and process information, there are liquids and electricity that's moving in our brains at all times. When people have mental illness, the electricity and the liquids that's in our brains that make us chemically balanced, when they go into the wrong holes, right? Imagine you have a job where you have to put letters. Okay, imagine a post office, the person who delivers your mail. They have to sort the mail by name and address. Then they have to go to the address and put the mail in the right mailbox. Every once in a while, I get somebody else's mail and I'll give it to them, right? Or I'll leave it out so that they can find it, hopefully. This is what happens with mental illness. The mail is going into the wrong boxes and they're interpreting and opening and reading messages that in the mind incorrectly. The mail that was supposed to go here goes there. And they take that as a fact, even though that information has been routed incorrectly. That's how mental illness works. It's a real thing. You can't abuse people and curse them out and talk about how ugly they are or how bad they look or how stupid they are, because that's not the issue. It's the mental illness that has them looking abnormal and they don't see it because information gets distorted in their mind. Okay, I hope that helps. So, what is ODD? Symptoms of ODD generally begin during preschool years. This is what Allie's mom says she has: oppositional, defiant, disorder. Okay, it says sometimes it may develop later, but almost always before the early teen years. So Allie's mom said she started to notice a change in Allie around the time when Allie was about 13 to 16, is when Allie started to misbehave. The mother has six daughters. Allie is one of six children. The mom and the dad broke up. Allie's mom continued to raise her six daughters on her own. So obviously, we know that mom couldn't be there. Mom has to go and work. And unfortunately, that's how it is all over the world. The economy is at a place where both parents have to work. And if you're a single parent, you have to work two jobs to provide for your children. She has six daughters. So Allie, according to the mother, got mixed up with children who went in the foster care system. And those kids were into bad behaviors. For me, working with people with mental health and substance abuse disorders, a lot of times when they were teenagers, they were early into using heavy drugs, not just like marijuana and beer, but like heavy, heavy drugs because they don't have parental supervision. A lot of my friends, when I was in school, started being sexually active in junior high school. I didn't do that. I've always been a nerd, but I'd had friends in junior high school that was doing that, you know? So it does happen. Like your kids can be influenced by the other kids. So that's what um Allie's biological mom said happened to her. She started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that's when the mother started to notice this defiant behavior. Okay? So some of the symptoms are often and easily loses temper, frequently touchy, easily annoyed, often angry and resentful, often argues with adults or people in authority, often actively defies or refuses to follow adults' requests or rules, often annoys or upsets people on purpose, blames others for their own mistakes and behavior, says mean and hateful things when upset, tries to hurt the feelings of others and seeks revenge, also called being vindictive, has shown vindictive behavior at least twice in the past 6 months. So Allie could have had a problem with the fact that she's one of 6 kids and was not getting enough individual attention. And for that reason, decided to rebel. Well, mom is not paying me any attention. Dad is not paying me any attention. There's 6 of us kids, so I'm not getting enough attention. I'm going to go hang out with the wrong crowd. I'm going to basically, the reason why people join gangs, whether they're children or adults, is to find a sense of family. Even though this family is a crime family, that's the reason why they go and join gangs. So the fact that the biological mom said Allie was hanging out with the bad kids in the neighborhood and at school, Allie basically joined a gang of specific kids that were getting into bad stuff. And the mom knew about it, and the mom talked to the teachers at the school about it, but she couldn't control Allie because she had to work. Now, the funny thing is, her other 5 daughters, she said, have all turned out to be upstanding members of society. She had one of her daughters on the interview, and that daughter said that she had gotten a scholarship to go to college. And she lost a part of one of her scholarships because she came home to help her mom look for Allie when Allie was still very young. This is part of the reason why people are saying, why did the mother wait all this time until now to come out and look for Allie? Because she had 5 other kids to raise, and they were not being rude and disrespectful and accusing the father of essaying them wrongfully. Okay, when you have a kid that's that bad, and then the mom said that because of Allie's accusations against the father, it caused the mom to lose the kids for like a couple of weeks in the foster care system. Not for long, just for like several weeks. And then she got her kids back. When they investigated, it wasn't just that Allie told them. Allie told them that she was being mistreated at home. So once the investigation concluded, Allie's biological mother got the kids back. So people who keep saying, why did the mother not, look for her and all this time? First of all, she had 5 other kids to raise. Okay. Second of all, you can't trust the person who has the police and child protective services coming to your house, investigating you, taking your kids away. You don't have time to lose your job to care for the one kid who refuses to go to school and get an education just like the other kids. They got scholarships. They went to college. Now they have good jobs. Allie has nothing. Allie has nothing. Okay. So obviously she needs a lot more help than what she's receiving, because at 31 years old, she should have a foundation in this world. Allie is not the only victim of these type of things. There's plenty of people on social media who are telling the truth, and plenty more people who are lying about being victims of this type of abuse. But guess what? They have their own place, they have a job, and they maintain a lifestyle of independence as an adult. That's part of life. It don't matter what happened to you. You're still responsible for taking care of yourself. And that's your first priority. Her first priority, Allie's first priority, should be making sure that she's stable and secure. And if doing all of this that she's doing is causing her to feel that her life is in danger, she should stop. Stop. Okay, because it's not helping you. You are the one putting your life at risk by doing this. And it's unnecessary if you're not capable, because you don't have a foundation. You don't have a foundation. You cannot help anybody else. You can only help other people after you've helped yourself. Don't they say that when you get on an airplane? If the plane is going down, put the mask on yourself first, even before you put it on your child. Because if you go down and pass out, you won't be able to help your child. Okay? So Allie needs to get control of herself She needs to get therapy. If she's telling the truth, she doesn't even communicate clearly. It's a lot of, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Girl, you need to get yourself together. And if everything that you're saying is true, once you have a sufficient amount of therapy to regulate your own emotions, then you'll be able to tell us clearly what the problem is so we can help you. Most of her videos, she's not communicating clearly enough for anybody to do anything. People are frustrated because they're watching her ramble and make a lot of noise, but not giving us any real information. Okay, these people did this to you. Where are these people so we can find them? Where? She says, oh, the kids are in tunnels. Where are these tunnels, Allie? Where? What state? What city? Tell us something that we can go and investigate. She doesn't give any information that we can follow up on. It's just a lot of You got to calm down or else nobody can do anything. The plane is going down and you're not even putting a mask on your own face. So how are you going to save the kids? So regardless of she's telling the truth or if she's lying, she needs extensive therapy in order to communicate clearly so that we can take action. So somebody said, why did the mother wait so long to address this? Someone said exactly, she's been paid. The mother explained very clearly why she waited so long to address this. She had to make sure that her kids, that all five of her other kids behaved and went to school, got degrees, and are now gainfully employed and situated. She's had to work as a single mom to provide. This is the first time in her life that she has the time and the energy to go back and look for Allie. Allie is the one who ran away and made accusations and tried to destroy her parents. Okay. So the mother now has the time and the energy to actually address this. Now that her other kids are situated, she's more situated in life. Now it's like, people say, I got time today. The mother now has time. It's still her daughter. Just because Allie's been away from her mother for 15 years, which is a long time, doesn't mean that her mother stopped loving her. Okay? Anybody that has kids, they will always love their kids no matter what their kids do. So her mother still loves her. Her mother still wants the best for her. It's just that she didn't have the time or the energy to pursue Allie when she had five other kids. And I don't blame her mother. I think that is reasonable to say, I had to make sure I'm okay and everything that I had to do was situated before I deal with the one. And in fact, the stuff that Allie was going through caused one of her sisters to lose a partial scholarship. So not only was the mother chasing behind Allie a drain on her, it was a drain on the other kids. You can't let one person take the whole shit down. All right. It says here, Allie has been on social media for 5 years saying this. The mom wasn't saying anything that I know of, probably until she started getting bombarded with all of this. Okay. So someone says, I'm confused. All right. I don't want to drag any other YouTubers, so I'm going to skip that part. She says, I get that she was a problem child out of all of her other kids, but at what point did you just give up on your child? Now it's 2025, all this Diddy stuff, and now she's calling out her child and wants to go to the law on the white woman. And then someone said, because World has been putting a face to the name and people have been blowing up her Facebook. But she said in the interview, she has tried to reach out. She gets blocked on social media. And before that, she said she had went to the police, but Tori is grown and was nearly grown when all of this started, but she couldn't find her. And that's why she reported her missing at 17. All right. So the mother did report Tori missing at 17. That's about the time she ran away from home. The mother did attempt to reach out to law enforcement, but they told her that once she turned 17, in that state that they live in, she was an adult. If she wanted to run away from home at that point, the police didn't have to find her because you're basically responsible for yourself at that age. If you want to walk away and go make your own way in the world, it's perfectly legal. All right. So these are all of the reasons why the mom had to let it go. It wasn't just that she didn't care. It's that legally she didn't have that ownership over Allie after a certain age. She was no longer considered a minor to be somebody to be put on missing persons that had to be caught and brought back home. So since Allie has been on social media over the past 5 years, these are some of the videos that I put in the playlist that you guys can go and check out whenever you have time. It says Shelly Carter talks about Ron Jeremy, how she was sold to Russia. She talks about being a Diddy victim. And these videos have got like, she has a huge impact on social media, whether she's telling the truth or not. 129,000 views, 420,000 views, 615,000 views, 273,000 views. So people are paying attention and listening to Allie. The good thing about it is she is bringing awareness to a good cause. Okay. However, she's had millions of people hear her story, and no one's been able to do anything because she doesn't communicate clearly. So even though for 5 years she's had, well, maybe not 5 years, maybe she just started blowing up with these high number of views in the past 2 years. But for the past 2 years, millions of people have heard her. Enough people have heard Allie that if she was mentally sound, that's enough people to start finding where these tunnels are and start investigating if the kids are really in them. So the problem is that Allie has to deal with why she's unable to communicate clearly in a way that she can actually mobilize people to take action. She's just talking, 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 but she's not leading people anywhere. That's a problem. People are drawn to this type of nonsense. I'm like, how can you listen to somebody ramble for 2 years and never give you enough information for you to take action if you wanted to? And I'm going to use this other YouTuber as an example. This is Eugenia Cooney. Okay. She has 2.14 million subscribers. You know why? Because she looks like this. Can y'all see that? This is how she's looked for most of her time on YouTube. And she lives at home with her mother. And she's making probably, $50,000 a month on YouTube alone. And people are following her because she looks like this. People love sick people. People love mentally ill people. People love predators. People love people who get on the internet and they lie on God. They lie on the Bible. Those are the type of people that get donations. Those are the type of people that get followers. People love this type of just sickness. This is what people are attracted to. This is what people subscribe to. Now, of course, a lot of people in her audience, this Eugenia Cooney, have been saying it's wrong that her mother is like basically allowing her to be on social media, looking malnourished, looking sick. And basically, someone says, you can't compare Eugenia and Allie. I didn't compare the two. I said people love sickness. Allie is mentally ill, according to Allie's own self disclosure. And we can look at this Eugenia Cooney and see that she's sick. Okay. And I'm saying that the general public follows sick people, but they don't get involved and actually take action to actually help them. Partially because they can't, and partially because the sick person doesn't acknowledge that they're sick and they don't want to get help. So all people can do is look at them, but that's not solving any problems. If people want to actually solve problems and get involved with something, we're going to need some more information and cooperation from people who post up on social media. But the reason why people are attracted and giving these people numbers is because they like a train wreck, not because they actually want to do anything to help. All right, moving forward, it says here, Allie Carter's challenge for 2025, focus on the children. All right, someone said, I'd like to see what you would do in the victim's shoes. Isaac, it just so happens that I was a victim of childhood abuse. I went to school, I graduated early, I got my college degree, I became a mental health and substance abuse counselor. I got my master's degree. I became a director of a nonprofit, and that's what I do. I help other victims. That's what I do with my life. I also life coach people on YouTube at a very low rate so people can afford it. And I have my channel here, Leilani for God, where I tell people to get your relationship with God together and you won't have a lot of problems in life. So I'm doing a lot as a victim in my own victim shoes. I don't get on YouTube and talk crazy. I think about what I want to say. I think about how it will help people. I think about what people need, not what people want, but what people need. And I put my energy into helping people to the best of my ability. I give people free mental health and substance abuse counseling all the time through my YouTube content and through talking to people behind the scenes. And I don't even charge them any money. So Isaac, take some time now and let us know. Since you asked me who did I help, this is my profession. I work in the field of mental health and substance abuse counseling, and I work at a very high level. Okay, I'm called a director. Okay, Isaac. So before you come over here trying to be evil and mean spirited, why don't you now respond and tell us what have you done? Okay, write that in the comment section, because I see you in the comment section being rude and disrespectful, calling people delusional. And often we say in treatment, the loudest person in the room is the sickest person in the room. So you are probably projecting. So now, why don't you tell us, Isaac, what you have done to help people who are less fortunate? Type that in the comment section and stop attacking people. Thank you, Long Gone. She said, I need to get mods. You're absolutely correct, but it's hard because people on YouTube are not trustworthy. I tried to start a campaign to get predators off the internet, and the people that said they were going to help me, they wound up turning against me. They started stalking me, doxing me, trying to find fault with me. I repented from all of my sins and gave my heart to God before I got on YouTube. So I have not been involved in anything that would be bad behavior in years. I can't tell you the last time I did something that somebody would be like, that's bad. But for whatever reasons, when I tried to start a campaign to get people to get predators off of the social media, people turned against me and started attacking me. So that's why I just go solo. But you're right, I do need mods, but it's very hard to trust people on YouTube. They just flip on you one day for no reason. You don't even know what happened. But anyway, if people want to moderate for my channel, please email me, and I might make a couple of people mods, because unfortunately, because my name is Leilani for God, people with demonic spirits, they come to my channel and they try to start mess with me. Like this guy named Isaac Abraham. He's got a name that will make you think he believes in God and believes in the Bible, but his behavior shows that he's got a demonic spirit. He's in the comments attacking people. Who was he helping? I'm waiting for him to post in a comment all of the people that he has helped. Okay. Spreading awareness is not helping people. Okay. Just like Allie, you're just making a lot of noise, but not getting a lot of results. But let me just move on back to the subject matter and not let this troll. If he keeps trolling, I'm going to block him. I tried not to block, you know. Please email me, Sunshine. Okay. Please email me, Long Gone. Okay. So moving on. Allie Carter's challenge for 2025, focus on the children. All right. So Allie has made a live in this year. This is from January 2025, where she again was calling on people to help find the children. Her TikTok page, I think she got suspended for a little while for talking about the trafficking issue. A lot of the words and language that we want to use when we talk about trafficking is it's not acceptable by YouTube. And even a lot of words that I've said in this live since I started talking, it's like I tried to change the words, but some of them I have slipped out because it's common words, common language. You know, YouTube and other social media will ban you for saying things, but how else can we tell people what we're talking about so we can take a stand against it? Okay. Summer, she said, I'm a believer and a survivor. I'd be happy to help. Please email me. I'm leilaniforgod@gmail.com. Jackie, I laughed at your comment. Isaac is Allie or Shelly at this point, or sent by them. Yeah, I exposed the biggest predator that I've seen on YouTube, World, earlier in this video. So people from his group, they're very brainwashed. They can't see through him. And they be harassing me too. Faith, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much, Faith. This is the world that killed our Lord. Of course, they're attacking you. Aida said, if I'm wrong, show me why I'm wrong. I just want truth. Aida, you need to watch this video from the beginning. I am showing a lot of proof. I don't know what time you came in. If what I'm saying is not good enough for you in this video, you need to watch some of my other videos. I'm very detailed, thorough, and I show everything that I'm talking about. So if you need more information, you might need to watch more of my videos. Sunshine Hand, Leilani, love you, sis. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you guys so much for the encouragement and the support, because this is the hard thing about being a YouTuber. I watch YouTube videos where it's just like, sometimes I don't want to watch a movie, but I'm curious about it, but I don't think it's good. So I'll watch the movie recaps on YouTube, and they'll do like an 8 or 10 minute video, and they'll explain the whole movie, and it will be so good. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm so glad I just watched this whole movie in 10 minutes. I read the comments. People in the comments are being mean to the YouTuber. They're like, "Oh, you missed this, you missed that. That's not what it mean. That's not what that mean." It doesn't matter what type of content you make on YouTube. You have these people who are evil and wicked in their spirit, and they see that you're having a good time, you're in your element, you're doing your thing, and they are so jealous because they don't have the ability to flow like you do through life. They don't have it. And that's why they don't have it. It's because their spirit is evil and wicked. If they would focus on the things that matter, they would have a better time. But they focus on the wrong things. And so they just become dark and they just get filled with darkness. And then they get jealous and start casting, darkness, trying to cast darkness on people that have light. But like I said, I gave my heart to God before I got on YouTube. So none of these people is going to stop me from my purpose and what I'm doing. I prayed before I started this video. If God didn't want me to do it, I wouldn't be doing it. I prayed before I make all of my videos to make sure my spirit is right and that I'm doing the right thing. I don't just move because, oh, I have a problem and I want to put people down. No, I ask God, should I speak on this? And I wait. All right, guys, let's get back to it. So, somebody was saying about Allie, I totally get what she's saying, but ranting about it on YouTube, talking to a bunch of viewers isn't going to do S. If she wants to make a difference, she needs to make it fully aware to media platforms, not yelling the children 5,000 times in her car, hoping us YouTube viewers will do something about it. She's the fire starter in all of this. She should act like one. I totally agree with this poster. If Allie's telling us that there are kids trapped in tunnels, where are the tunnels, Allie? Millions of people have heard her say this by now. Y'all know how we are on YouTube. All of us, whether you watch YouTube or whether you make content, we are nosy. You know how many people, if any tunnel, any place Allie would have said there was kids, you know how many people would have went and investigated on their own? They would have went with their flashlights, their cell phones in groups, and they would have did it. And even if it was wrong, they might have been trespassing. They might be taking the law into their own hands. But that's how we are on YouTube. We get active. We investigate everything. That's how it is. So the fact that she has spoken to millions of people and has not given us any information to actually go and investigate it and find out. Somebody said, she said the Getty Museum. Okay, the Getty Museum. All right. So then as she needs to take that to law enforcement and ask for an investigation, because a museum is something. I used to work in a museum when I was a teenager as a tour guide. Those places are very spooky. They are there's definitely a scary energy in museums. Okay. And the part of the museum that you see is a very small percent of the collection, and it's a very small percent of the total space of the building. So there are many floors above, and I know from working in a museum, there's many floors above and there's many floors below. I know because I seen them, and it's very creepy, it's very spooky, but they have a lot of security. So that's something that has to be investigated by law enforcement. That's not something that people are going to be easily able to find. But I'm sure there's other places that Allie could tell us where the tunnels are, at least the city and the state. You know what I mean? And just to say, oh, the Getty Museum, that's not enough. What else? Where else? There has to be more places that these kids are in these tunnels if what she's saying is true. All right. So, yeah, she needs to get some type of mental health counseling so that she can regulate her emotions and communicate more clearly so that what she's saying can be investigated. Okay. Someone else made a similar comment. They said, "What are you doing? You're steady screaming. What about the children? What about the children?" But at the same time, you know the names of these monsters, but you're not saying anything. That's the only way the kids can be saved. Talking won't do anything. Someone else said, "Talk is cheap. How can we help if we don't know where the children are that need help are located? Are they in America? Can you tell us where are the children?" Okay, we need more information. Someone said, "I got extremely suspicious of her when all she did was laugh and repeat things over and over, screaming at that." Someone else said, "I started to feel Shelly may be her handler." Because the way she is, it does seem like she's being coached or she has a script because it's repetitive and redundant. She doesn't speak naturally. It's like it's a circle. She talks in circles. And then when she realizes that she's talking in circles. And then she goes, then she laughs and she says, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. It's my dissociative identity disorder. So she's aware that she's not communicating clearly. But again, if you want us to do something, we need you to speak to us more clearly. It says here in the comment section, Tori's real mother said that Tori has had mental problems since she was a child and that she is easily influenced, especially by other people, negativity. All right. Someone else said, what if the celebs planted Allie to make the public second guess? I'm kidding. I'm just showing people how easy it is to create a narrative like she has done. Now, the funny thing about that is a few people have been busted for lying about being Diddy victims on YouTube. Quite a few people have been making allegations, and YouTubers have done the investigations and found out that they were, in fact, liars. All right. So it does happen. And it's like, where are all of these liars coming from? They're taking credibility away from real victims. And I have to agree because a lot of times real victims don't want to say anything because there's a fear of public people using the information against you, holding it against you, or calling you a liar, or using it as a joke, try to throw it back in your face to try to hurt you or break you down. It's just a lot of weird people. Everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. So if you're going to come forward and say something, you want to feel safe. You want to feel that people are going to believe you and that they're going to help. Right? So, but it's a possibility. The reason why all of these liars are coming out on social media making all of these claims is just for attention and just for money. That's a real thing that happens. So we have to be mindful of all of these possibilities. It says here, a traffic stop leads to a horrifying discovery in a child predator's truck. So this was on YouTube. It was posted 7 days ago. EWU body cam. There are YouTubers whose platforms are dedicated to finding adults who seek out children for, the wrong thing. There's a sector on YouTube where that's all they do. And they catch predators and they call the police on them. They pretend to be minors and they correspond through email and text message with these grown men. And then they make them show up just like the television show. And then they call the police on them. So there are people who are actively doing whatever they can do to try to catch predators. Right. But I'm just showing that sometimes law enforcement does, in fact, find people in trucks. So there are, not 100% of law enforcement is in on it. Right. Because Allie keeps saying that's the reason why she won't go to any professionals for any help. Oh, they're all in on it. They're not all in on it. That's part of a delusion. Everybody is not in on it. Now that you have millions of people watching you, Allie, you should be safe enough to walk into any police station. You film yourself live and say what you're saying, because now we all know publicly where you are. If anybody does anything to you, we all know who did it and where, now that you have all of this attention. But again, because of the mental limitations, she's not taking advantage of this opportunity to move her cause forward. This is why her cause is not going anywhere, because she needs to get herself together. Somebody made a comment, we need to use our critical thinking skills in this case here. They found other people in a short period of time. So tell me, how come they can't find these? He said, I believe some of the names that she has named are very powerful people. And if any of those things were true, just like Epstein, they would no longer be around. I don't wish this on them or anyone, but critical thinking is critical. So basically, the point that this person is trying to make is that if Allie and Shelly were really, truly in danger, the way that they say they are, that their life is in danger, that's why they have to keep on the move, that the people that they've talked about are so wealthy that they could easily have found Allie and Shelly and hurt them if this was true. And I have to agree with this person. Okay. Allie went live on, she talked about, she says Allie's in the car with the woman that she calls her adopted mother. And Allie says in that video at the 39-minute mark, she says, I was never loved. I was never chosen. I was never okay until my twin, this one right here, this one over here, lean in so they can see your face. This one, she took just like me. She came in my life. It's like, we went through hell and still going through hell. You wonder why? We have everything in black and white too. We have CPS reports. We have police reports. Okay. So she's saying that this woman, Allie literally says, I was never loved. I was never chosen. I was never okay until my twin, this one right here. So, from a mental health perspective, in my opinion, the reason why Allie ran away with this woman is so that she could have individualized attention. She could not get that because her mother has 6 kids and was a single mother raising 6 kids. Allie wanted that individual attention that she couldn't get because it just so happens she's from a family of 6. So she never felt chosen. Now, in my opinion, because I also minister, okay, Isaac Abraham, if you want somebody to do something, you're going to need to do it yourself. I need you, Isaac, to start your own YouTube channel, and you need to talk about all of the things that you're asking other people to talk about, because perhaps that's your mission in life, is to talk about all of the things that you find concerning. Everybody on YouTube is talking about what they find as to be topics that they should discuss. And you should do that as well, Isaac. Isaac, when you start your own YouTube channel and you actually, you know, expose the people who you want to be exposed, email me and I will support your channel and I will review your videos. Okay. But until then, stop pointing fingers at everybody else. You need to get involved and actually do something first before you tell other people what to do. Okay? So I've blocked you from my channel, and have a good time on your own channel. Doing what you think everybody else should be doing. All right. So now we're going to talk about the spiritual warfare aspect of this. The 10 Commandments. And from what I've seen, Allie is in violation of a number of the 10 Commandments. And see, the thing is, when you're not moving according to the purpose that God has put on you, that's why you start having a lot of problems. Until you get right with God, nothing that you do is going to work out. You can't take on the world and you don't even have God on your side. Allie talks about Jesus a lot, but she doesn't really talk about God as much as she talks about Jesus. According to the 10 Commandments, God says, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself any graven images. You shall not take the name of the Lord in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You're supposed to rest on the Sabbath, right? Allie's always running around talking about she's tired. She's not observing none of the 10 Commandments. It says you're supposed to honor your mother and your father. It says further down the line, you shall not bear false witness. Like the accusation that she made that her father assaulted her and it wasn't even true. You not only in that case broke the 5th commandment, you're not honoring your mother and your father, but you also bear false witness against your own father. Okay. And you have to understand that, because Allie calls herself a Christian. If you're not living according to these principles, this will be a major reason why your life falls apart. You cannot do that. You cannot go out in public and call the police and say your father SA'd you and almost get him arrested. And by the grace of God, he was not even in the state at the time that it happened, that you claimed it happened. This is the reason why your life is a mess, Allie, because you are breaking the 10 Commandments. They say, the scripture says, honor your parents that your days will be long. The way Allie is looking, she's not going to live a long life to the 120 years that God gave each human being. The reason why we don't make it to 120 years is because we eat the wrong foods. We're stressed out. We don't rest on the Sabbath. We don't put God first. We make bad decisions. We hang out with bad people. All of that stress puts wear and tear on our lives and makes us age faster than we should. If we was living by God's word, we'd make better decisions, have less stress, and live longer. We are the ones that destroy our own lives by our own disobedience. And I have to bring this up because Allie claims to be a Christian. You have to live by the principles. You can't just say that. It says, do not take the Lord's name in vain. So you in violation of that, because you constantly bring up God this and Jesus that and God got me, but you're not living godly. You can't be throwing God's name in no mess. Okay? So you in violation of number 1. You in violation of number 2, you in violation of number 3, you in violation of number 4, you in violation of number 5, you in violation of number 9. Okay? You breaking the rules. And God's wrath is a real thing. People love to be evil and wicked in different ways. We're all sinners. We're all doing bad stuff in different ways, right? But then you don't want to realize that that's why your life is messed up. Okay? So how is she breaking the first commandment? You shall have no other gods before me. On her website, allesarmy.com, she has all of these prayers to Jesus, the blood of Jesus, in Jesus' name. That's breaking the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. The phrase, there is no one besides me, appears in several Bible verses, emphasizing God's uniqueness and sovereignty. One notable verse, Isaiah 45:5, which states, I am the Lord. There is no other beside me. Beside me, there is no God. This verse underscores that God alone is divine and that no other entity shares his divine nature. Jesus did not make the world and everything in it. God did. You cannot be talking about the blood of Jesus in Jesus' name. If you read the scripture, when somebody asked Jesus, how should we pray? Jesus said, you pray, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Jesus never said to pray in his name. Jesus never said to plead the blood of Jesus. All right. So Allie's doing all of this stuff. I know a lot of Christians do all of this stuff. You breaking the first commandment. It's not right. Furthermore, in the Bible, Jesus asked, why do you call me good? No one is good but one. That is God. That's in Luke 18:19, Matthew 19:17. This statement is part of a conversation where a man approaches Jesus, addressing him as a good teacher. Jesus responds by redirecting the man's focus from his own goodness to the goodness of God, emphasizing that only God is truly good. Okay? So even Jesus himself says, stop worshiping me, worship God and God alone. Sunshine says, stop worshiping Mary too. Exactly. The Catholic Church is full of idolatry. They are breaking the first commandment. That's not even in the scripture. All of those prayers that they make to Mary and all of the saints and all of that stuff, that is opposite of the 10 Commandments. It says Jesus emphasized the importance of worshiping God alone in several scriptures. In Luke 4:8, Jesus responds to a temptation by stating, it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Again, in Matthew 4:10, where Jesus says, be gone, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Did Jesus tell Satan, get down on your knees and worship me? No, he said, you better worship God. I don't understand why people keep making Jesus God. Jesus is not God. Get Jesus out your mouth. Just only talk to God. Only listen to God. And then your life will move forward. And I know because when I was not worshiping God, I was almost like Allie, hanging out with the wrong people. All my friends were drug dealers. They was scamming, credit card scams, doing all type of stuff. When I would let them stay with me, they would steal from me. It's like you wouldn't expect that, but that's what happens when you hang around people as evil and wicked. They only going to do evil and wicked. You ran away from home. You defied your parents. You ran away to go be with some kids that was doing bad. And now your life is a wreck. You can't even communicate a sentence. This is what happens when you break God's commandments. Nothing works out for you. You can't lead an army of people. Where have you've been on the internet for 5 years with a campaign that millions of people have heard, and you have made no progress. All right. So if you want to call yourself a Christian, even though there's no Christians in the Bible, you need to live by the 10 Commandments. It says the second commandment says, you shall not make for yourself a carved image. What is the cross? There's 10 images of crosses on Allie's website, Allie's Army. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was more. She's got crosses all over the website. Okay, the second commandment clearly says, you shall not make for yourself a carved image. Okay, that's how you also know that the Catholic Church is not really for God, because they have all of them statues of all of those saints, and they make people pray to Mary and all this type of stuff. Okay, breaking the 10 Commandments. Then you wonder why your life is a wreck. Someone put a comment. They said, I feel like idolatry is one of the root causes behind the predators in Hollywood and the music industry getting away with this for so long. We got to stop worshiping child predators. In fact, stop worshiping people altogether. Worship your creator. We are partly to blame because these people would be nothing without us. That's absolutely true. And see, I had like over 100 people in this live. I just look at the number, it's 43, now down to 38. You start telling people to worship God and they fall away. And guess what? That's why these people are going to go through things and they're going to say, why is all of this bad stuff happening to me? Why does God let bad stuff happen? If you're not holy and righteous is not going to happen to you. If you evil and wicked is going to happen to you. That's how God has it set up. That's how this matrix that we live in, people get on YouTube and they talk about, oh, the algorithm. How do I get into the algorithm? What do I have to say? What do I have to do to get in the algorithm? You need to get into the algorithm of life. Worry about the algorithm of life. What are the rules that God who put your soul in your body? You need to worry about that algorithm. That's the only algorithm you need to be worried about. What do I need to do to be right with God so that I can have a successful and prosperous life? Even if I've been through terrible things, I can still overcome and be powerful in my life. And Leilani, for God, I'm a living example. All right. So she done broke a whole bunch of commandments. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Number 9, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She done broke 6 out of the 10 commandments, okay? Running around with this woman who's not her mother, calling another woman her mother when she has a mother, who's still telling her to come home at 31 years of age, and she still want to run the streets with somebody who's not her mother and want to complain about, I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, God is not blessing you, Allie. You're not blessed right now. That's the truth. If you want to come into God's blessing, you need to come up under the 10 commandments and you will get straightened out real quick. In the Bible, specifically in Daniel 4, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon is cursed by God and is forced to eat grass like an ox. This curse came after Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about the great tree that was cut down, symbolizing his own fall from power. So we all hear about Babylon. That's a city that God destroyed, one of many people that God destroyed and cities that God destroyed. The king of Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar, and he thought he was all this and all that. He was a narcissist, and God cursed him with mental illness so that he thought he was an ox, and he went outside with no clothes on and was eating grass. And when he came, this says at the bottom, this divine punishment. Okay, let me move on. It says this dream was interpreted by Daniel, who warned the king that he would lose his human mind and live with wild animals for 7 years, eating grass like an ox. This divine punishment was a lesson for Nebuchadnezzar to recognize God's sovereignty over earthly power. After the period of punishment, Nebuchadnezzar regained his sanity and praised God for his justice and power. Okay? So until Nebuchadnezzar bowed down and worshiped God, okay? Until he bowed down and worshiped God, and he was the king of Babylon. He had money. He was like Diddy. He got money. He had hoes. He had it all. Big palace, everything. But until he bowed down and worshiped God, God caused mental illness to come over him. He went from being a king to walking outside naked, eating grass. And then he finally figured out after 7 years, you know what? Maybe I should worship God. And he did. He bowed down and worshiped God. And he told everybody in his kingdom, we all got to worship God around here. Nebuchadnezzar turned his heart to God. But he was out mentally ill until he did. Catch that T. Everybody want to talk about drama. Let's talk about what's the spiritual warfare that's going on. It says she needs help, right? She does need help, and the thing is, we're all sympathetic. We all want to help. We care. We don't want anybody to be homeless and hungry and cold and not have shelter. We're all heartbroken. We are all heartbroken over Allie. I could cry right now if I just really let my emotions flow. I don't want to see nobody out in the cold looking like her, like all dry and skinny and tired and can't talk. As a counselor, I know there's so much I could do as an individual to help her get back into her right state of mind, right? But it's like you can't. It's like you see, it's like you're so close, but you're so far. You know what to do, but you can't do it. I'm sure there's plenty of groups of people that will go in them tunnels and find them kids. Like people on YouTube, this is like every social media platform has a different personality. People on Twitter, they're very rude and vulgar. People on Facebook, they just like into community. They want to be a part of a group. They want to be in big groups of people that have big like group conversations and stuff like that. People on Instagram, these are people who have a very short attention span. They just want to scroll and get the quick entertainment hits. Bam, 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 bam. Every 10 seconds, they want a new hit of information. On YouTube, we think it through. We need proof. We need images. We need data. We need information. We investigate. It's like this YouTube is for people who's like really want to get deep into a subject matter about anything. If you're really deep into cooking, you're going to watch all the cooking videos until you become a chef. Like YouTube is like going to college because there's so much information to absorb. But the personality of people on YouTube is more detailed, it's more thorough, it's more investigative. We nosy over here. We get involved. We want to know what's going on. So it's very hurtful that we can't. It's like we want to, but it's like, let us do something. Let us help you, you know? But really, the truth is we need to let God love us. Okay. We need to stop fighting God. We're like 2-year-olds kicking and screaming. God trying to pick you up and hug you, and you kicking and screaming. Now get off of me, God. I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to get in the car and ride around with Shelly for 15 years. No, you kicking and screaming like a little kid. You need to come back under God, and then start with getting right with your mother. God is not going to bless you like this. And that's why your life is a mess, girl. Hey guys, are we back? I think my stream just got shut down. I don't know if it affected you guys or not, but I'm going to keep talking anyway. I was saying that there's a movie called A Beautiful Mind, and there was a man who thought he was working for the government. He thought he was a spy or something, but it was just all in his mind. He was like, okay, the video was in a loop. Can you guys hear me now? Am I back on? I hope so. That's never happened to me before. Okay, great. It froze for a few seconds. That's okay. Yeah, they do weird stuff. And I'm telling you, that's why I told y'all at the beginning or closer to the beginning of this video, I exposed that guy who is interviewing Allie's mom, and he's the biggest predator I've ever seen on YouTube. And he himself, and I posted the video in the playlist I made exposing him. He says he hacks into people's computers and phones all the time. He made that video years ago. So if he was doing this stuff for years, you know what I mean? He's probably really good at it. And of course, he don't like me exposing him. That's why I had to get a police report on him and his Beam team, right? Because they gang stalk people. So it could be them, you know. It's just weird. It's just weird. But guess what? I gave my heart to God before I got on YouTube. Okay, so I don't threaten people with God, but I feel sorry for anybody that thinks they're going to come against me, because so many people get on social media and they lie on God and they lie on the Bible that it makes people think everybody who says that they work for God is lying. I'm not lying. I'm not one of those people. So I'm not going to do anything to you, but you're not going to do nothing to me either. That's what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen to me, and everything's going to happen to you. Because when you're in a negative space, the way God has created the algorithm of life, negative things happen to you. What you put out is what you get back. Scripture says you reap what you sow. I'm reaping helping people. I'm reaping being of service to the community. I'm reaping actually healing people through my ministry and through my work, my career as a mental health and substance abuse counselor. Okay, so every day, all day around the clock, I'm helping people get on their feet, get access to food, clothes, shelter, get their mind right, get their spirit right, get their heart right, reunite with their families. This is what I do for a living. So nobody's going to come over here and try to do anything to me. Okay, anybody trying to hurt me, the funny thing is, I sit back and laugh when people attack me, because I'm like, I'm getting satisfaction out of knowing that you hurting yourself and you don't even know it. Anyway. Yeah, so as YouTubers, we have to do a better job at investigating things. We can't just let Allie say whatever she wants to say. We can't just let Allie's mom say whatever she wants to say. We need enough information to make an educated, informed decision that's based on a number of different factors. We need to know more. We need to, in order to get involved and in order to help. And most people, we really do want to get involved and we really want to help on this YouTube platform. I feel like the mentality of YouTubers is very investigative, very involved, very active. So I mean, if Allie was 100% telling the truth, she's got thousands of people that would really be out here looking. So it's like, come on, girl, we need you to get it together. All right. So this is just a picture of Allie, and they're saying that she was abused by people in the industry. In 2020, she spoke out against Diddy. Maybe people will listen to her now. Allie, we need you to listen to us. We've been listening to you for years. Now we need you to listen to us. We need you to address. Your mother has spoken twice. Your mother has spoken for about 10 to 15 hours on YouTube about wanting you to come home and get away from Shelly. Allie, we need you and Shelly to get on social media and tell us. We need you to reply to your mother. We need you to say yes or no. This is my real biological mother that World has interviewed. We need confirmation that that's your real mother. We need to know if Shelly has you in danger, where you are, so that you can be located and returned to your mother. We need to know where these kids are being held in these secret places. Give us some cities and states or something that people can begin to get involved. If you cannot communicate to us more clearly than what you have been doing, I'm going to have to assume that you're mentally ill because you've been doing this for years and you have not produced any meaningful results nor led people to a meaningful result. She has the website, Allie's Army. She has all of these links, but they don't lead anywhere. I clicked on how to get involved. All she has here is protest, telegram, chats, and church services. Uh, that's not really getting involved. We're not going to save kids by protesting. We're not going to save kids by having telegram chats, and we're not going to save kids by having church services. The only way we're going to save them kids is go physically to where they located and investigate and take them out, rescue them for real. All right. So she posted on her website, you have a power to be a voice for the voiceless. Get outside with a sign to stand for survivors. You can also print flyers, hand out cards, or anything else to help raise awareness. There will be marches all around the country posted here, but you don't have to wait to get outside and be a voice for the voiceless and scream love for the children. Okay, again, that's not going to pull the kids out of the tunnels. Then she put on her website, attention, due to threats against Allie in the 90s, she calls her people the 90s. The reason why she does that, exactly, sunshine, is a hamster wheel long gone, spinning wheels and not going anywhere. Exactly. And that's the problem that I have with Allie. And I'm willing to chalk it up to its mental illness. And which means that we all need to collectively tell her to get help. Okay. Shelly needs to get her to a therapist. Okay. The therapy is confidential. The story that you can't trust no therapist because they're all abductors, that means you're mentally ill. Everybody is not 100% an abductor. Okay. You can do therapy over the phone. If you've been on a run for all of this time, there is low income therapy. There's free therapy. You could call the suicide prevention hotline and get free therapy. I mean, there's so many ways that you could actually get help. Okay. All right. So on her website, it says, attention, due to threats against Allie in the 90s. Oh, that's what I was about to tell y'all. The reason why she calls her group the 90s is because she says that's the 90% of people who listen to her who believe her. So the 10% is people who don't believe her. So she's got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who believe in her. Okay. And yet all the people could be mobilized to actually take action over the course of 5 years. All of this wasted time and energy. And you know what? When Allie finally does get herself together, so many of these people is going to lose interest because it's like all these years I've been following you and trying to help you and it was all just a waste of time. Now all them hundreds of thousands of people that could have been mobilized to find the kids is going to fall away. It turns people off when you do stuff like this. You had the perfect opportunity to actually do something and you was not able to do it because you were not mentally sound. So then she says, well, due to the threats, the awareness marches for the children scheduled for April 27th, 28th have been postponed. Please continue to raise your voice and educate those around you. Okay, so you said you want to do marches. You tell everybody to do marches. And now you're saying, oh, you can't because there's threats against you. Let me tell you what the Bible says. It says in Judges 7, Gideon is instructed by God to send home those Israelite soldiers who are afraid to fight against the Midianites. Initially, Gideon had an army of 32,000 men, but God told him to send home those who were afraid. After this, only 10,000 remained, and God further reduced that number to 300 men. Remember, they came out with a movie called 300, but they attributed it to the demonic Roman army. See how they steal stuff from the Bible and twist it for their own purpose? Okay. God emphasized that the victory would be attributed to God alone, not the might of the Israelite army. This narrative underscores the theme that victory comes from God, not from the size or bravery of the human army. Okay. Thank you, Summer. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. You know what, Summer? You're my first super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So in Judges 7, God says, if you're scared, go home. Okay, Allie? So don't get out here and tell us, oh, I'm going to do a march in April of 2024. Oh, I'm scared. I have threats. I can't do it. You was going to be out there with thousands of people. You have impacted and affected thousands, if not millions of people. And you scared to go out and march? Girl, don't you know them people would have tore somebody limb by limb if they would have touched you at that march? Girl, you have no idea how much power you've had, and you're about to lose it because you don't know what to do with it. But God said, if God sends you out to battle, you go to battle. If you scared, take your ass home. Stop putting yourself in a position that you're too scared to hold. Judges in the Old Testament. This is a book from the Old Testament. It says the judges were not like modern judges who preside over court cases, but were charismatic leaders and military rulers who God raised up to deliver Israel from foreign oppressors during the period before the establishment of the monarchy. Okay? So God appoints people to lead. So Allie, if you were truly appointed by God to lead this mission, you're supposed to move forward. You should have did that march in public. Let God work. But I'm scared. So that makes me wonder, are you really on your purpose that God has set for you? God gave all of us purpose. You have purpose. That's not the issue. The issue is, are you living in your purpose? Because if you're making all of this noise, talking about you was a victim of this and that, and you're lying, that means that what you're doing is not really God's purpose for you. You're forcing yourself into a position because you want attention. The reason why you ran away from home is because you wanted that individualized attention from one mother. That's why you took Shelly as to be your adopted mother. So you could have one parent, so you could be one kid, and you could get all that individual attention just for you. And that's why you happy riding around in a car with three adults in it, you, Shelly, and Shelly's mother. Because now you're getting a mother and a grandmother giving you personal attention, babying you, coddling you, making you think that everything's okay. And it's not even true. It's all a delusion. Scriptures, for the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory. Okay, so Allie talking about she canceled the march because she's scared of threats. She's on a run because she's scared. When you hear of wars and rebellions, do not be alarmed. These things must happen first, but the end is not imminent. Say to them, hear, O Israel, today you are going into battle with your enemies. Do not be faint-hearted or afraid. Do not be alarmed or terrified because of them. The enemy is weak. The devil is weak. The devil is under your feet. Demonic spirits are beneath human beings. They are beneath us. It's in the scripture. The reason why the devil angels fell from heaven is because they went against God. They were jealous of the humans. They said, God, look at the humans. They're beneath us. They're stupid. They're not strong. They're not supernatural. They can't fly. They can't teleport. They can't read minds. They can't do mass destruction like we can do. And God said, you still must bow down and assist them. And they didn't like that. That's one of the many reasons they rebelled against God. So God put them beneath us. So just because somebody is a devil, just because Satan and Lucifer and Beelzebub and Baal, all these retarded, disgusting, ugly figures that are demonic, they're beneath us. We have more power than them. What are you scared of? Do not fear or be dismayed, because of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. So if you're scared, you say, God, is this right? Am I doing the right thing? You pray. And when the Holy Spirit come over you, you move. Do not be afraid or discouraged. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord will do this to all the enemies you fight. Okay, didn't Goliath defeat the giant with a rock? One rock knocked him out. That's the power of God. It wasn't David. It wasn't his rock. God struck that giant down. He sent David out there to do it, to show the people, when you move with God, God will fight your battles. Though an army of encamps around me, my heart will not fear. Though a war breaks out against me, I will keep my trust. That means trust in God. This world is crazy right now. There's a lot of things going on. There's UFOs in the sky. There's wildfires. There's rumors of war breaking out all over the world. There's people battling each other all over the world. It's all scriptural. All these things have to come to pass. The world is for people who trust in God, who endure until the end. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean you get scared and go home. If God put it on your heart to fight a battle, you fight that battle. If God did not put it on your heart to fight a battle, you end up scattered, confused, like Allie. She has an army of people behind her, and she's still scared. Them people would have ripped, child. Let me stop. It started a darn riot if she would have did a rally for the kids. But she don't have the power to actually lead people. So she's not on her purpose. She's not on her mission. Because if God really sent her to do this, she has enough people listening to her that it would have been done. The reason why people are listening to Allie is because they like this type of nervous energy. People are attracted to toxicity and nervousness and mentally ill people and grifters and scammers and liars. That's where people love to be, with these people. It's just how it is, right? I have made videos where I specifically talked about how to let go and let God. God forgives and forgets when you repent. Why life is a test. 25 scriptures to protect you from the enemy. All these videos have less than 200 views. When I get on here and I expose the work of the devil, and I get to screaming and yelling and cursing people out, oh, then I get thousands of views. And I like to expose the devil, people, because scripture says that we should. The verse says, Ephesians 5:11, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. So it's not like a problem to get out here and expose the evil people. It's scriptural. We should, you know what I mean? But when I actually talk about scriptures for how to protect and cover yourself so that you be strong and powerful when you go out in the world and stand up to these demons, the videos get less than 200 views. And that's why people are weak and they're scared of the devil, because they don't even know that the devil is beneath them, that God already put the evil, wicked devils beneath us. All right, guys, like the video, share, subscribe. You can support. Thank you for the super chat, the super sticker. I really appreciate it. It's the first one, so that's kind of exciting. You guys can PayPal me at Leilani for God. You can Cash at me at Leilani for God. If you want to be a moderator for my channel, or if you need help, counseling, therapy, assistance, clarity, certain subjects that you want me to cover in future videos, email me at leilaniforgod@gmail.com. I have memberships. If you guys want me to make private content, there is private content already in the memberships that I did already in the past. But right now, I don't have any members. I did last year, but I stopped it because I was so mad on YouTube last year. I was making content that was just exposing YouTubers. So I stopped doing that. So that's why I stopped making membership content. But some of it is probably still there. So if you into all of that gossip and drama and you want to hear me cussing and going off on people because they're evil and wicked on YouTube, the content is there on my memberships. But I will go back to making more membership content for you guys if people join the memberships. Okay. But if you just want to email me, if you want to talk to me, or if you have a suggestion for future content, just email me at Leilani for God. And I reply to all of my messages. I try to reply to all comments. Just so you know, I'm a real person. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not no star. I'm not different than you. I'm a sinner just like you. The purpose of my channel is to remind people that God put your soul in your body, and that's why God is worthy and deserving of all praise and admiration and adoration. There's not a human being in this world that can do what God has done by putting your soul in your body. Your body is the artificial intelligence, okay? It's a fake construct that God made from dust and water. Your soul is what's real. And when your body dies, your soul is going to return to God. And that's when people are going to realize that they messed up because they're not going to make it into heaven. It's going to be too late. But don't do it because you're scared of when you die. Get right with God because only God has all the answers. God made the matrix. God made the rules. You work with God, God will work with you. Repent from your sins. Live a better life towards God. That's the whole purpose of my channel. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Feel free to contact me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much for being here with me in this video.